That's what I'm talking about. Breath that literally kills.
Whoever decided that darts is the perfect game for drunks deserves a medal. The darts simulation plugin was out of our price range. It tastes like that bulletin board you used to chew on in grade school.
Yeah, but I don't do that anymore. Thanks, Lithium!
Exposing your doodle in the vicinity of a dartboard is one of the most idiotic actions you can undertake in this game. And that's saying something. Then again, how likely is anyone to be able to hit a target of that size? You rap loudly on the Naugahyde door.
Yeah? What's the password?
You read off the strange password you discovered in the John.
Ken sent me?
Come on in.
Ah, you recognize this setup from a number of art films you've viewed. The gentleman before you is basically working the front desk. His employee is upstairs, waiting to provide quick expert services to a discriminating clientele.
Wow, man. Every time you open your mouth, it's like an angel does.
Well, someone's gotta say it. That's one handsome moose ass.
If you only had a dime for every time you said that. You stroke the moose.
Nice, Moosey. There's a good Moosey.
The moose snorts gently. Larry, you have such a gentle way with wild animals. And for a change, you're using that power for good instead of evil.
So, what time do you knock off work? It's a chocolate mousse.
The whole point of this trip was so that you could stop doing things like that. That's some impressive tail. You'd need a ladder and a reason, neither of which you have, and neither of which you'll find.
I'd love to learn to play your scales, baby.
The smell is tantalizingly familiar. A person of lower breeding would make a joke about it. You're not anatomically equipped to mate with that thing. You can't believe all the crap Lefty collects. You gingerly poke around in the pile, looking for something useful. To your great relief, you find nothing. Remember how, after that incident with the mannequin at Victoria's Secret, you promised to give up talking to inanimate objects? Quick! Whip out your Leisure Suit Larry scratch and sniff card and scratch number 4. If you purchase this game digitally, or if there's no scratch and sniff card in your game box, you may purchase replacement cards for only $249.99. Right-click or left-click on anything to continue your in-app purchase. Your purchase is complete. Thank you. Publisher's note, there is no scratch and sniff card, there is no in-app purchase. This is all a joke. Please send angry mail directly to Al Lowe. We're drawing the line at coprophilia. The old clattering teeth trick really breaks the ice at parties, especially if you party with a lot of 6-year-olds. You wind up the teeth. They immediately make a sad winding down sound and barely jiggle.
Rip off.
You lick the gagged teeth. They taste like they've never been flossed. What are you, nuts? This thing goes off accidentally. It could nip you to death at 40 chomps per second. Someone still has some unpacking to do. You open up and examine the contents of the carton. They're all full of tax code manuals related to the running of a legal brothel. They smell like red tape. Can't you keep that thing tucked away?
I can't help it. It likes the open air.
The kegs are apparently taking over the building. These kegs are full of beer. You can't take them or tap them. You lick one of the kegs. It tastes like the delivery man had itchy polyps.
Ooh, cold, 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 cold.
Lefties used to have bowls of free nuts at the bar, provided by these nuts, TM, in exchange for promotional consideration. Note, the TM trademark symbol is a registered trademark of Trademark Registry, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Copyright Registered Trademarks, LLC. It's just a junky old poster. Let it molder in peace. It smells like raw nuts. What did you expect? You take a quick pistachio on the poster. That's would-be recording artist and full-time pimp, Prodigious P. He seems to be looking at the TV with frustration. You finger the pimp's outrageous threads.
You like Prodigious P's style? Of course you do. You got style too. Just that yours is a little more, dweebitated.
He smells like he wears l'air du temps, but not today.
Hey, look at that. It's like a man's penis, only a lot smaller.
What's happening, man?
Just hanging out.
What's upstairs?
Nothing you'll ever get to see.
Why? What is it?
It's a woman, little man, and she's too much for you. You're not getting by me. Just put it out of your head.
Well, that just makes me want to go up there even more, right? Makes me want to figure out a way to get past you.
You're new at this, aren't you?
Let me up there.
Not as long as Prodigious P's standing here.
It's one of those tasteful calendars that the tool companies put out. These days, carrying around one of these calendars will immediately peg you as a troglodyte. You're trying to keep that a secret.
Say, calendar babe, if your right leg is Thanksgiving and your left leg is Christmas, can I come up and see you between the holidays?
That scored a 12 on the pathetomometer. It smells like four-color ink, clay-coated paper, and the captured souls of all men who gaze upon her. Careful, Larry, she'll give you a paper cut. Whoever shaved this pussy didn't finish the job. Don't touch it. You don't know what it's been.
At least you kept your dignity.
Too bad the cat can't say the same for you. It smells like cheap shaving cream and old Sunday newspapers. You're not into kiddie porn. It's the head of a cock. What? What did I say? You're straight, Larry. You don't enjoy touching someone else's rooster.
You look stuffed.
It smells like hay, feathers, and Cowper's fluid. Look it up. You don't feel like getting a beak job. On a stand in the corner is the infamous butt bottle, introduced in 1972 by Lowbrow Beverage Company as packaging for their first flavored vodka. The less said about that vodka, the better. Butt bottles are highly collectible and very valuable, but since you don't know that, it's useless to you. Forget about it.
You've got buns of porcelain.
You inhale very deeply from the butt bottle, so hard that you can practically feel little things flying up your nostrils.
Ugh, it smells like spider eggs.
This could be trouble, Larry, but you'll no doubt ignore it. Remember the last time you did that to a liquor bottle, Larry?
Who knew the wait would be so long at the ER?
I wonder what the artist was getting at. You have no current use for this painting, and we don't anticipate you finding any. Remember how, after that, it smells like that paint-by-numbers set of Venus Rising that you had when you were a kid. The one you could never finish because your hand would start shaking when you got to the good parts? It's a painting, not a person. You can't send it screaming from the room the way you can when you expose yourself to an actual person. These are all copies of the Kama Sutra, the 3rd Collegiate Edition. You've already got it memorized. They smell like library paste and curry-scented yonis. For crying out loud, have some respect for the printed word. There's an impressive-looking vibrator or personal massager in the cabinet. The cabinet is locked. It still has that new sex toy cabinet smell. You briefly consider unzipping and trying to squeeze it through the cabinet. Then you recall that incident at the zoo, at the Komodo dragon display, and all the stitches that entailed. Then you recall that incident at the bank, at the teller's cage, and all the legal expenses that entailed. You decide to err on the side of caution. Bingo! You use the combination on the coaster to quietly unlock the cabinet. You dispose of the evidence by tossing the coaster behind the cabinet, where it's unlikely to be found for thousands of years.
I'll never forget that number. It's burned into my memory, I think. Wait, what was it? 4 something, right? This vibrator's been coated with so much split apricot-flavored lubricant, I can barely taste the plastic.
That's kind of a convoluted way of getting your junk and the vibrator to meet head-on. Yes! Score 1 battery-operated, sleek, slightly sticky personal massager.
Woo-hoo. Know what I'm saying?
You start to vibrate yourself.
Whoa, how can anybody stand that?
Then you move the vibrator to a different spot on your body.
Oh.